there, GSN. I noticed you changed your 10 o'clock block again. So, it's time that I tell you guys what a perfect morning block should be. Now, while your 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock shows have not changed, which I don't mind since I watch this show every day, what you guys have done is, once again, change the 10 o'clock block so no one really gets used to it. Now, last time you had Shop Till You Drop and Catch 21, which I'll admit was not your best decision. So I'm glad you brought back the $25,000 pyramid, but now you have a little bit of a problem. You have now surrounded my show with 2 episodes of Eubanks Card Sharks. Yes, I've already checked. And in addition, you have decided to replace one of the 30-minute Deal or No Deals with Newton's Whammy, which I guess is understandable considering that the 30-minute Deal or No Deal, syndicated, that's the word I was looking for. The syndicated Deal or No Deal was not a big hit. Because basically it jumped the shark by season 3 of Deal or No Deal 1-hour version. But anyway, what I'm seeing is that you guys have no idea what to put for your 10 o'clock block, and maybe even your 11 o'clock block. So here's an idea. I am going to rearrange your entire morning block so I can tell you guys what to have so you can have the optimum level of coverage for GSN. And how I did that is that I took your entire morning block, which is 8 a.m. to noon, as a whammy appears. That's great. But anyway, what I've decided to do is basically change up your block so I can help you guys out and tell you what us game show fans really want. So, here's how we're going to do this. What I'm going to do is tell you the shows that us fans want to see. So, you guys know what to get, and then you can keep it that way. Instead of changing it every 3 to 4 months. 3 months in this case. So here we go. Your 8 a.m. show can stay the same, because everyone loves Match Game. And apparently it works for the 8 o'clock block for some reason. I'm not sure how, but it does. And that's very enjoyable. Now, 8:30 to either 9 or 9:30, depending on preference, can be one of 2 things. Because I got a unique idea here. You guys have a habit of making a block out of an entire show for an hour. So let's do that for the 30s. So what I suggest is that after Match Game, you guys show either 2 30-minute episodes, or when it finally transitions, the 1-hour episodes of Regis's version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That is a show that is a classic. It's the show that basically saved the game show world from extinction. And probably for the most part saved your own channel from extinction. Because of how raged out the game show world was. It brought back everybody's love for the game show world. So I feel that Regis's version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire is due its own time slot again. Now I know you guys had your own little farewell and all that talk, so the only thing there is, most of us believe the only reason you did a farewell thing is because of the fact that when you did your farewell thing, that was the same time Regis was retiring from All TV. So I think it'd be better if we get the chance to see Regis again via Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So after that, and this is a popular idea, I noticed that you guys like showing Shop Till You Drop, so do us all a favor and bring back its counterpart. That's right, for the 9:30 slot, I want you guys to show David Ruprecht's Supermarket Sweep. It would be a popular thing, everyone wants to see the show, and I'm still mad you guys left it out of your Top 50 Greatest Game Show special back in 2006. And this would be a long overdue thing that you guys have to show, because everyone wants this show. As my boyfriend told me one time, the Canadian and German versions are always shown as reruns. Why can't the American version? Let's fix that, shall we? Now, for your 10 to 12 block, I have the idea of, well, the most popular era in the game show world probably was the 1980s. You had multiple different shows, instead of 2 like the 1970s did for the most part. Probably 3 if you count Password Plus. But my idea is that you guys make a 1980s block, and I know just the shows to do it. First, let's start off with the 10 o'clock portion of your hours. So, for this one, I have an interesting idea. Family Feud is arguably one of the most popular shows of all time, and in the 1980s, the signature host was Ray Combs. For the love of God, stop dissing Ray Combs, okay? So I have the idea that instead of overrunning our throats with Steve Harvey's Family Feud, like you and a few other stations and networks are guilty of, I think we can go back to the classics. And I think Ray Combs is perfect for that. And then after Ray Combs, I have a interesting idea to bring the fans back to the glory days of the 1980s when it comes to another network. I won't say which one because everyone knows it. And put Tamarkin's Pressure Luck in the 10:30 time slot. And I have to say the host because otherwise they're going to say, oh, Pressure Luck, maybe you can include Whammy. No, you can't. Whammy Newton's version is not the same as Pressure Luck Tamarkin version. So anyway, this is definitely the best time slot, I believe, for Tamarkin's Pressure Luck. It'll bring in a lot more viewers who are up around that time instead of having to set their alarms 2 minutes before the show starts, like me. And I believe this will be the best thing because back in the old days, during its original run, this was the time slot for Pressure Luck Tamarkin's version. So that's the best way to do that. So, how do you fix the 11 o'clock block so people are not drawn away by The Price is Right? Well, considering that Drew Carey's the host, you have to include a comedy factoring. You have to include the glory days of the game show world. And I know just the show that might be able to lure away more viewers than Deal or No Deal or Newton's Whammy. Super Password, which, by the way, is the Bert Convy show. Bert Convy has a tremendous humor to him, and a lot of people love the power of humor in the game show world. So this would definitely be the best option for your 11 o'clock hour in terms of the first part of the hour. Super Password is definitely a tremendous option. It's definitely based within the powers of the classic game shows back in the 60s and the 70s of the original Password and then Password Plus. Why do I say Super Password instead of $1 Million Password? Because you had to leave some time left for the last show, which I believe is every Dick Clark incarnation of Pyramid. And this is the one where I let you guys pick because the 10,000 version hasn't been shown that much. The $25,000 version is the one you're showing now. And the 100,000 version is probably the most popular because of the $100,000 tournament. So basically, this is all I have for you in terms of what I believe the perfect schedule would be for your morning block. A classic show to start your day, the show that basically saved the game show world, a show that's long overdue on our televisions, a Family Feud version that's not freaking Steve Harvey, the show that basically saves your morning block, a show that needs to get back on GSN, and another show that I believe would be better by moving it an hour up. Do this format right, and you will have yourselves the perfect morning block. When you guys succeed in having the perfect morning block, everyone will be gravitating towards GSN. And then you can leave this block the way it is. And then everything will just be right and peachy keen for everyone. And then we can enjoy our entire morning, spend our time on your channel. And that is how you fix the morning block. Oh, and a tiny bit off subject, but I want to end the video with one thing. I have noticed that you guys have a tremendous habit of overrunning your programming with whatever the current incarnation of Family Feud is. In fact, for this day alone, What you guys have done is shown Steve Harvey's Family Feud 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You have 14 different episodes of Steve Harvey's Family Feud. That can be a bit of an overkill. It's the same thing you did with Richard Carden's version back in the day, and that's why us fans got raged out by his version. Now you want to run Steve Harvey's version into the ground. That's not a good idea for the health of your programming. And it definitely gets worse over the weekend. So, my recommendation is that if you want to fix that, here is something that you guys at GSN and the Family Feud people should do. Les Harvey, more anyone else. Heck, even the Dawson 94 return would be a great idea at this point. And for the love of God, stop dissing Ray Combs. His version would definitely suffice for all of us fans. Seriously, Les Harvey, more anyone else. And fix your morning block to where it's like this. This is the only way that everyone can stay on GSN all the time. Do that, and stop with the Harvey overrunning, and everything will be back to normal. And everyone can appreciate GSN the way it's supposed to be. The network for games. And not just one game or two. Okay? Good! Just fix it up to the way us game show fans want it to be, like the schedule I have here, and then everything will be peachy keen. This is Ultimate 23 Dragon, and that's my final answer.